Raybot.
Hello and welcome to the Shambles VODCAST.
Hello.
Today's guest is very vocal. You may see him behind me. It's Mr. Bob SLAYER. Bob set up his own venue at the Fringe 4 years ago, and it's
With Misbehave.
Yes, and
It's very important we discuss that.
And it's
Because I
made-
forgot in the interview to mention Misbehave,
Okay.
and she will shove her sword up my bum.
So, what is this interview going to be like? I bet you can't wait after that promotional message from the guest. Let's join him. Hey Bob.
Hello, Harry. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Super.
So, let's chat about the Fringe.
Let's chat about the Fringe.
Yeah, we've both got quite different opinions on it, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, what is your current opinion? Is it worth going to this year, or would you give it a miss after losing all that money last year that you did?
I didn't lose any money actually.
You would be going some to not be the only one not paying a guarantee in the Pleasance, and then the only one, and then lose money as well. So,
And Amirov, Bob's first mention of the imaginary Big Four guarantee that Bob is so fond of talking about. There is no guarantee, Bob. I don't know where you get this idea from. I know
God, would you on about there's no guarantee?
there is no guarantee. It was. It's just a split. It's a split. Yeah. So. Yeah, I didn't lose any money, but in answer to your question, I am...
Which is remarkable on 2 tickets a day. So probably we should take our hat off to the Pleasant system.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who sold 2 tickets a day?
did you not sell that many?
No.
No.
It was mainly giveaways, yeah.
Well, my favourite thing was, there was a lot of giveaways on yours. You were giving them away. I saw that. But when you talked about online that you got a 5-star review, it did force me to go and Google it, and I Googled you, Harry, and I found the one that you wrote. But then I also went on the Ed Fringe listing of your show,
Yeah.
in the official thing, and of course the audience can leave a review
Yeah.
there. And you had one, and it was a really nice one. A lady, Mrs. Rinkoff. I don't know. Is that your mum, perchance? And then, what was lovely about that was, it obviously was your mum, left you a review. Was what I realised was the only way you can leave a review is if you've bought a ticket. So I like the fact that possibly the only ticket you sold for your show in Edinburgh was bought by your mum. That's a lovely thing. That is a lovely story.
You're a wonderful storyteller. I wish I could make up stories like that too. But so anyway, that's interesting that you've. It's good to know you followed my friend.
I do follow
'cause
you.
I did not.
I follow you
I
with a
couldn't-
passion. Some say
yeah.
you can't be followed. I mean, a lot of comics say you cannot follow Harry Dean's way. He's not. Don't try. Don't try and follow Harry Dean's way. But I like to try and follow
Oh,
you.
that's nice to hear. So, all right, let's talk about you set up a venue. How many years ago did you set up It was called Alternative Comedy or something. You called it.
We called
Bob's
it-
what was it called?
It was
at first?
called the Alternative Fringe.
The Alternative Fringe.
2011 was the first year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd booked it. I'd booked the Hive for Laughing Horse in 2010, I think, or I'd helped book it. That's a lie. Didn't book it at all. After the 2010 Fringe, the Hive came to me and they said, your show is half our bar take for the day. Can you bring other idiots in? And so the following year, that's when I first booked it, 2011. And I brought in Cunt and the Gang and Phil Kay. And
So your own show was bringing in half.
their bar take,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, yes, I did bring in idiots and drinkers, but also it was perhaps down to the fact that the sort of shows that Alex had put in quite a few theatre shows in there that just people don't, they get a glass of water.
Yeah.
And it just, they weren't really right for that venue, which is a rock, the rock club most of the time. And but it was interesting. The show I followed that year in 2010 was a one-lady show about rape, which this year, it was dreadful, by the way. And as you would think, a one-woman show about rape, that's going to be horrible. But then that was our award-winning show this year. Was that, but done brilliantly, and has just done a sold-out run at Soho Theatre, and it's going off to all over around the world.
Great. So
Adrian
yeah.
Gascott,
So
love her.
glad to hear it. So 2011 was the first incarnation of what was it called?
I think that year I was booking it for Laughing Horse, but it became known. People started calling it. We had Cockgate and all things like that, and Cunt and the Gang doing so really well.
Yeah.
Phil Kay was packed every day, and people started calling it Alternative Fringe. So we officially took on that name.
So you've you're distancing yourself from using that outdated.
Yeah, totally. Nothing I would have come up with.
Yeah.
We just put it on a poster or two the following year and went, hey, this is a horrible name. Let's come up with another horrible name.
Yeah, I did say that. I remember saying that to you, but yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be anything without you, Harry. I follow your every move.
Famously, your career's gone from strength to strength after I banned you from my club. Yeah.
Should we try that one again? You struggled with strength to strength. It's not your strong point, strength to strength, is it? How are you?
I was just saying that, but your career has gone from strength to strength since I banned you from my night, actually. So definitely involved.
Yeah,
did you a favour there?
No, I think you did.
Because you got something to prove.
I didn't know where I was up until that point. Didn't know where I was in the comedy vernacular, and then along came this, life-affirming ban from Harry Dean's way, and I went, right, I'm going to prove him wrong.
Yeah. And it's worked. So, it hasn't, because I definitely won't be booking again anytime soon. But, 2011.
Yep.
Phil Kay, Cunt and the Gang, changed. When did it change to Heroes? That was last year, wasn't it? Or was it the year before?
Yeah, last year, I think. Yeah, last year was the first Heroes.
So, it wasn't exactly your aim to set up a venue, probably until, probably not that Cunt and the Gang. The next year you thought, was that when you thought, right, we'd
we'd met a lot of people. What I could see was the debate that got thrown up around the stick, just some juvenile stickers, brilliant juvenile stickers being stuck on posters, was people weren't happy with certain aspects of the Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And that had been going on a little while, and that galvanised a lot of discussion. I went, right, okay, the free Fringe is a wonderful thing, but there's limitations in that model, in that you're really just, at the end of the day, always holding your hand out. You don't know, as if you're performing a free show, you don't know if you're going to get an audience or not from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to go to people, come and see my show and pay what you want on the way out, but it's also nice to have tickets sold. So 2012 we experimented with mixing free shows and paid shows. Some were free, some were paid, and it didn't really work. But what it showed, and so the paid shows, we had to paper them just like a lot of shows do. I don't know if you've got experience of papering a show at the Fringe, Harry. But what we did was we were very honest with our papering, and we printed these cards. We pay what you want cards, and that was the forerunner to the next year. We went, right, let's make all our shows pay what you want. Let's drop the word free. We didn't initially drop the word free. We were, trying.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make all our shows pay what you want. You can buy a ticket in advance if you really want to see it, or you can turn up, and if there's room left, you can come in. And then that came about. Shows like Country Garage, like Phil Kay, people were turning up and not being able to get in, and they were saying, will we be able to get in 2 days' time? And all we could say when it's free is, you just have to turn up and see. And it's nice to be able to go, give us a fiver, and what in your head, what was the issue with the Fringe? Where was it going wrong, and what was wrong with it? I think that it was becoming more and more polarised, and it was one way of doing the Fringe. You give your money to the big venues, you do what they say, and that's it. And for some acts it works. Dr. Brown had a wonderful path of doing 2 free Fringes, then he went and did Just the Tonic, and he papered his show for the first half of the Fringe. For the second half it became a word of mouth hit. People were talking about it after the Fringe, like, oh, that was the show we should have seen. And then the next year, he went up with Soho Theatre.
Yeah.
Did the Underbelly, sold out for the whole year, and it was the following year he went back into maybe a bigger room, maybe the same room, I can't remember, and won the main award. That's the route to do. That's a fantastic route to do it, and that's how to that's how to do the main venues, is to build a following, build a demand for it first. But I think acts just going, great, we've got the underbelly, now we're going to be the next Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
No, you need that momentum first, else there is no point. And no point doing a venue like that, and you're just going to be pushed away like that. And however many sick tickets you sell, it ain't going to be as many as name an act. As
Tim Key.
Tim Key.
Yeah.
I was thinking Tim Key.
Yeah, there we go.
As Tim Key would say. So you go, yeah, we're doing really well, but you're not going to really get attention of the industry or the venues, because they're going, well, you haven't done that well. And there's many instances of shows selling 10, 15, 20,000 pounds worth of tickets and going away, and that they've broken even. You know.
Now, I think this is an interesting point, because it seems for me that you blame that on the venues, whereas
no, I don't. No,
well,
I don't. I think the venues are part of that system, but no, it's not. It is all the middlemen that come along and be there. It's the PR, it's producers, it's this, it's marketing, it's the posters, it's everything. It's da-da-da. But all of that comes together and is part of a system which is kind of failing. Now, to get in to some of where the venue's part in it is, if you're trying to get a decent slot, the more marketing and PR and people and money you're going to spend, the more likely they're going to give you a decent slot. Mm-hmm. And that does make commercial sense for them. They just want to see that it's going to be successful. We've got all this behind us. Great, okay, you're serious, we'll put you in a decent slot. But you actually then do those figures and go, well, there's no way you can make money.
Yeah, and I think my issue now with free fringe and paid fringe is, if you're a newer act, you're having to spend even more money marketing yourself to compete with an act who's at the same level as you, who's giving away a similar standard of show for free. And I think that's an issue. I think.
Yeah, but what? So yes, potentially, but is it? But why are you spending more money? That isn't working. So stop spending the money. Stopping spending the money, and just being able to be financially and therefore creatively free throws up fantastic things like John Kearns winning the best newcomer. I don't know. Why spend money when you don't have to? Is my point. Simple as that. Why spend all that money? Why make the industry abound all that money? It is literally an arms war of marketing.
Yeah, a paper war.
Paper war. Yeah. Hang on. Let's just go. Hello. Let's catch up. And what we've done is gone. What Cunt and the Gang showed was, if you're smart and creative, that's worth 60 quid's worth of stickers was worth much. You couldn't have bought that sort of coverage that he got.
So, but he doesn't work with you anymore, does he?
Yeah. No. We have things going on the way. Yeah. You learn things on the way. Yeah. It never worked for me. We worked together.
Yeah.
But maybe that was it. I will. Sorry, Mr. K. I'm very sorry. I got very excited about what Cunt was achieving that year, and I was very much in helping and assisting that. But I may also got my muddy fingers in there to say, right, it's meaning this, and let's take it towards this debate, which is a separate thing. And I think I muddied that, and I can understand where we just we'd still get on. But we don't. He doesn't use my venues, and he's happy and laughing horse, which is where he started, really.
Yeah.
So it's not a major thing. It's not like us. Like, we really hate each other.
Yeah, famously.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I even doing this with you?
Hey, I don't know.
So interesting, but then it creates. What's the difference now between the free fringe and the paid fringe? What would you say the difference is?
Well, it's just a massive chasm between them.
So who should be doing the paid fringe and who should be
do whatever suits you. What
okay, so what sort of act suits the paid fringe? And what do you think they're different? Do you think the free fringe and the paid fringe are completely different festivals?
No, I think it's a shame that they've gone that, and I think what we're doing is fitting. I think there is this massive chasm between us, and that's where I saw. Well, hang on, I see a lot of people either doing well on the free fringe and going, right, I should go to paid now, and then exactly when I got nominated for an award or something, you know, like the Thick Spirit of the Fringe Award and all those prestigious awards that I won.
So I just got to pause Bob there. Well, Bob says he got nominated for the Thick Spirit of the Fringe award there. That literally, I said sarcastically every day when I saw Bob in about 2011. I called him the Spirit of the Fringe.
I'd say that's an award.
Yeah, he has created that into an award, and also has put that quote, which I really do not want anywhere near his marketing materials, on his flyers and posters. Harry Deansway, Spirit of the Fringe, and this is a great opportunity.
You've just said it there, Harry Deansway, Spirit of the Fringe. I think I'll change it from the Fix to Harry Deansway, Spirit of the Fringe.
This is a great opportunity for me to say that I in no way endorse Bob Slayer's act.
You kind of have, just in that way.
What, by saying I in no way endorse Bob Slayer's act?
Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't you put that in your flyer? I'd prefer that. I in no way endorse.
Yeah.
Wouldn't piss me off as much.
I think the Fix was bigger than Harry Deansway, and unfortunately you haven't really come up to match the expectation
I'm on the way back up again
we had of that
with this
magazine.
vodcast.
Yeah. What is the name of this vodcast?
Shambles Vodcast.
Shambles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm legally not allowed to use the Fix anymore.
No. What
Sad
happened
times.
there?
Well, that's maybe when I come on your podcast I'll talk about it.
Well, I'm in the question seat.
Well, that's changed forever now. I'm going to just change it. I'm always going to be in this seat.
I see. So, wow, I like to hear that I've had quite an impact on
you
your
have.
podcast.
You've had an impact on the comedy industry, definitely.
Yeah. Harry Deansway was in the driving seat until Bob Slayer came along, is what we can extract from that. To be honest, I don't think anyone cares what we're talking about, really.
Oh, well, you know, we put the first one up today, so I'll let you know how popular it is.
Who was the first one with?
Munnery.
Yeah, well, probably that'll do all right, wouldn't it? You know.
I don't know. I think people will be interested. So let's talk about. We have worked together before. Let's talk about that a bit.
Well, I delivered your magazine in the back of my van. Is that what you're on about?
I was talking more about a little protest that we did, but.
Oh, was that a bit of job of work? Yes.
Yeah, it was work. I found that hilarious. So just talk me through what happened there, basically.
We stormed the BBC stage to say something benign like the real Fringe. I can't remember what it was.
The Fringe is dead, long live the Fringe.
The Fringe is dead, long live the Fringe. And I can remember standing there with a placard in my hand and going, that man coming towards us looks like a cross Rupert Merendi.
Magenda, yeah.
Magendi. Oh yeah, he does. Oh, he does. He is a producer. Oh, he looks really cross. Oh, I'm going to apologise. This walked towards him, he goes straight past me and kicked you up the bum. I didn't know that you had a long-running feud.
Oh yeah. Apparently, he complains about me after sex to his girlfriend, who I met recently. Yeah, apparently that's what he likes to do. But anyway, my favourite bit of that was basically, so we stormed.
He's a nice man.
Maybe.
Promotes some really good gigs.
Maybe.
I read a really good review of his gigs. Yeah. Going back 2 or 3 years. You wrote it, actually.
Okay.
In The Guardian. Really good. And then, oddly, you've taken against him. Changed your mind.
Potentially.
But you seem to have a changing outlook on life.
Right.
Harry.
Well, you know. I don't remember writing that review. Maybe it was after James. Maybe it was under James Kettle's watch. But anyway,
it was your name on the bottom of it.
Was it? Oh, we'll have to link to that on this podcast.
It's a preview to it. Last time you slagged Rupert off on Twitter, on Facebook, somebody posted it underneath.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
So, well, that's great. You know, well, they used to be good when he was booking it like it himself. Yeah. So, where were we?
He booked me himself.
Oh gosh, that's probably when I went off it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That explains it. There we go. Yeah, it was good until he started booking you.
Yeah.
So what was?
Well, he stopped booking for a while after I stormed his stage.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a gig for him again. I'm gigging for him again.
Well, that's good.
He's forgiven me. I feel. Well, I wouldn't say he's forgiven me, but I don't think he'll ever forgive you.
Oh, I don't think I'll be able to live.
I don't think he cares that much, really. Though.
Not well. You know, if you're talking about me after you've had sex with your girlfriend, that says to me that you're holding a little bit.
Do we
of a
know he
grudge.
does that?
Well, anyway, so That's a discussion for another day, perhaps.
What do I talk out after sex with your girlfriend?
Yeah, good joke, hilarious. So what I was going to say was, and my memory of that was we decided that one of the rules of the protest was we weren't going to interrupt an act.
Yes.
I mean, because it was about the BBC and not interrupting a fellow comedian, and the code word was, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Cricket. So when Jimmy Cricket finished, that was, I remember us discussing, that was the code word.
And I compared us on beautifully.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the spirit of the Fringe.
Yeah,
give it up
yeah.
for Harry Deansway. Give it up for Bob SLAYER.
Yeah.
And we came on from the crowd, and the crowd all thought it was part of it.
And so Andrew
that.
Maxwell had come back on and he saw what you did and he thought, oh, this is part of the show. He walked off, and I remember during the protest looking back into the corner and a BBC producer like going like that to and Andrew Maxwell being, I don't know,
and then he went, well, it's not. I'm not being paid enough to sort this out.
Yeah.
I'll leave him to it, and he walked off.
Yeah.
It was rather nice.
But
there you go.
fun.
That's probably the only time either of us will ever be on. You probably will get a series, actually. I think you'll get a series out of this, probably.
Series what? Where?
A series on BBC Three. They'll probably, because when is it actually going to end? I reckon they'll end with
me.
Shambles.
I'll be the last.
But the last thing, like Countdown started Channel 4,
Yeah.
Shambles is going to end BBC Three.
Sounds good to me.
Wow.
Sounds good to
I
me.
wonder if when is it going to end?
Soon. Very soon.
I want to be I want to see that.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for have you like done a bit of research for this thing? Because you like dropping a few things, like I looked at this and I looked at that.
I just have a memory.
No, but it's like it's interesting that you obviously
What research?
well, like things like posting articles and all that sort of stuff. Dropped a couple of those reviews from my mum and all this stuff.
Reviews from my mum. I read quite a lot about a year ago. Made me smile.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know.
No, just after the Fringe last year.
She did that. But I'll have to read it. Yeah.
It says Harry Deansway is a genius and he's no way connected with the fact that he came out of my womb.
All right. Well, how long have we done there?
And then
feels like ages.
A little advert for your mum's bakery as well.
Oh, lovely. So, I forgot to restart it. So we've done about 15 minutes. So I've got a couple of minutes left, which is probably just about enough time to talk about your act.
I don't want to talk about my act. I don't think we've really got into the gist of the Fringe.
Okay, let's talk a bit more about that.
Yeah,
then.
I'm not. This is...
All right, we don't want to talk about your act.
We've talked about...
But before we do, I just want to say, like, your act, it's basically your act is get your dick out, right? Do you rehearse that, or is it...
My
do you
dick
just
hasn't been out, other than obviously your girlfriend, of course. My dick hasn't been out on stage for probably...
Wow, what happened? So tell me about...
Look, let's talk about the Fringe.
Okay.
Your questions on the Fringe are dreadful.
All right.
You haven't asked where do I think it's going, how, what other things, do we see a change in the Fringe? Do you think it's interesting that the awards all went to independent shows that none of the main venues got a look in? Do you think it's interesting that you didn't respond to that about acts can sell £20,000 worth of tickets and then go away in debt or at best broke?
Yeah, I think my personal opinion is I think it should either be paid or free, either or, and I think that's a level playing field for everyone.
That's what it is, paid or free. What do you mean?
Paid or free entry in. So it's like there's free Fringe and paid. It should be either or, not both. So it should either all be paid or all be free.
Right, well, we'll put that into practice, yeah. And what is that based on? Just a Harry Deansway, I think I want to put a rule on it. No, if a
I think
comes along,
it's a level playing field.
It's not a level playing field. What you end up is you have the free Fringe, which is fantastic and growing and interesting, and then you have very differently, you have the main venues, which have kind of done what the music industry did when Napster and just digital downloads came along. They've gone into a bit of a huddle and a panic, and they don't really know what to do. They don't really know how to compete with the free, so they piss and moan, and they do like Metallica does and sue their fans and get and get angry about the free fest instead of embracing it. Like the music industry, it's inevitably going towards free music. That you couldn't fight that. How can we give that music away in a way that that will be that the punters will value it and then buy something else, then connect, they become fans, and then come to gigs and come to tours. And
a lot of musicians complain though about, you know, they don't make any money from album sales anymore.
But there's always going to be there's traffic wardens that complain about their job as well. There'll be people complaining about everything, but there's a lot of bands in the music industry have gone, right, okay, this is the way it's going, let's embrace this. There's a terrible band called Enter Shikari. I mean, they're not terrible, they're nice guys, I just don't understand their music, it's beyond me. But they and their manager, very smart guy, he found the Darkness. He was involved with the Darkness. The Darkness got signed by being the first unsigned band to sell out the Astoria.
Yeah.
They did a bidding war. They were from all the major labels. They went with Warner's, Bosch, and the Darkness went. A huge band. Unfortunately, their second album they made after quite a lot of coke, and it was shit. And they went out. They're coming back again. Whatever. That's by the by. Enter Shikari was the next band that Ian Johnson worked with, and they sold out the Astoria as an unsigned band. The difference was they'd really harnessed the burgeoning social media there. They didn't paper that at all. They really did sell that out. And so when Warner's and Sony and whatever were coming in and saying, right, we want to have this band, they turned them all down and said, no, we've just sold out the Astoria off our emailing list, off our MySpace, off our whatever there. We don't need you. And they haven't. They've licensed albums too, or they've used major distribution, but they've also used independent distribution. They've been smart. I think now 4 albums later, these, you know, your man in the street doesn't know who they are, but they have a hardcore following.
They make a nice living out of it.
Well, they sell out the Brixton Academy 5,000 capacity. And not only do they that, their fans are queuing 2 days beforehand so they can stand on the front. And they're still going. That is a smarter way of doing it. The music industry has changed and moved towards the smart acts are wagging the dog. They're the tail wagging the dog. And that's where comedy is following behind, and smart acts. And we've already seen, you know, obviously Doug Stanhope and Stuart Lee and, you know, Eddie Izzard, who went and looked at the industry slightly different, become
big successes.
Now they've also they've been part of the industry and partly outside. There is now, just like in the music industry, there'll be more and more. There'll be those acts coming along and going, hey, well, actually, we can do this ourselves. You know, we can stay outside of that, and you know, it's interesting. And I think then you have, and the Underbelly, the Pleasance, all these will still be there. Avalon will still be there, but they will adapt and change. And
well, Avalon apparently have a free venue this year.
Apparently so. I haven't found any more. I haven't looked on the brochure to see what that is yet. But I mean, you know, they'll probably get it wrong. They will come at it from, oh, free is the thing. But it's not just not having a ticket price. All they've done, I suspect, all Avalon will find is, oh, we've got the same costs in this venue and now we're not selling tickets. I suspect that it will be a short-lived thing because it hasn't come from the right place.
So, do you think free devalues the product of comedy?
I think it very much can, but it also, if you do it right, it doesn't. I think what we're doing... What does that mean? I think what we're doing is saying, hey, pay what you want, but we're expecting you to pay.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, free shows aren't free. You are expecting people to pay. So let's tell them that.
Yeah, I totally... I've been saying that from day on. That was my main issue with it.
But let them, you know, let them pay what they want. I'm happy with that. I think people value the shows that we put in our venue. They know it's different. They know it's outside of that. I think that's the next evolution of the Fringe. I was a bit disappointed with the Freestival. They had the opportunity, you know, whenever the politics are breaking away from PBH, you know, I don't want to get involved in that. They've made that choice. I think.
Are you friends with? What's your standing with PBH?
Oh, we get on great.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, just interested if you're on his blacklist. If he's pro. Or
I'm on his blacklist. Yeah. But he doesn't. He doesn't know what I look like personally, So every
Tells now
Fringe,
he's a big fan of this podcast.
yeah. Every Fringe, I go up to him and say, "Hello, Peter. How are you? How's your Fringe?" And he struggles to think who I am. And I buy him a drink, and we have a nice chat. And he asks how mine's going. Oh, very well, thank you. But yeah, he says, but there you go. But no, I think the Festival missed a trick, calling their festival, putting the word free in it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to be.
So what's their system this year? Pay what you want as well? Are they doing?
Free. Just
free.
Free. Yeah. Sponsored by pizza. Yeah.
Great. Everyone likes pizza.
Everyone does like pizza. Yeah.
So yeah,
I think. But what I think the most interesting development is a show. I've had shows that we promoted or going to promote go over, and then I hear they're going to do, then they say sorry, we're going to do the underbelly of the business or whatever, and it's nice. They say, oh, you're going to be cross. I said, no, I'll only be cross if you do a shitty deal. Stand up and say, stand up and not accept a shitty deal. And one of the shows this year, they got offered a deal, and they wanted $7,000 to pay for a room, and they said no, and they ended up with a door split.
Yeah.
And you can get that, and I think you're right, you can get that out of the main venues, and you should. And the acts that bend over and just go, oh yeah, here's our deposit. Those are the ones I think they're fools. And who is advising them to do that?
I think certainly my experience of working with the Pleasants, that their prime objective is to look after the acts. I do think that. I think. I think they've got the same attitude towards the Fringe that you have. They want the acts to be successful, and they want their shows to go well. So I think that's my issue with some of the stuff you say. Is I think you're painting that it's too easy to paint the Big Four as evil, and can't speak for the rest of them.
I don't think I've sat here and just said they're evil. I think what I'm saying
in the past
is good. Yes, but I think in the past, going back 3-4 years ago, it really was the Big Four were devaluing the Free Festival, and I was like, right, let's sling some rock backs, or some rocks back. And we did, and to get in and to get media attention, you go with a qualified argument to the media that's not interested. You go with, I think the Big Four are evil, bang, because of this, give us a headline, we'll get some attention. Then when we've got that attention, when people are brought to that debate, then you can take that debate on. And I think there is more. I get on with Ed and Charlie, I get on with Ryan at the Pleasants, I don't know. Some of the Karen Corra and I chat to, and I think they're wary of what we're up to and what we're saying, and I've had emails from saying, hey, don't say that, of course, but we'll discuss it. And I think there's a place for all sorts of different models. There's a place for everything, and it shouldn't just be paid or free. It should be, hey, if you've got something that works for you, works for your act, then do it. But I just feel there's the whole industry 2-3 years ago was saying, do it this way or not at all. I had those meetings with people saying, oh, if you're doing the free Fringe, you're not even on the Fringe. Mm-hmm. And that's blatantly not the case anymore.
Well, I think one of the main issues with the free Fringe is you're not sure what your space is going to be as well. That's like where
that's not true. No,
in the main.
It's not.
If they're doing your venue, which you've got an experience of promotion, you've picked good rooms, it's fine. That's.
But I did PBH, and then I did Laughing Horse, and all time. I knew Edinburgh. Yeah. No, I didn't get lucky. I went. I like this room.
Yeah,
that's what I want. If you go and say you know what you want and you know why you want it and what have you, then they'll listen to you and go, okay, great. All those horror stories of people being in a bar and there's a band playing down the other end of the thing. Well, you didn't really do your research. Go and look. Find it when you get offered a room. Ask: is it a separate room? Does it?
All right, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it's because of who you are. Maybe
and not to say that maybe I know perfectly well somebody who was in Assembly 2 years ago who couldn't perform in their room. Because it was so hot, but every time we turned the air conditioning on, it made so much noise they couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
So he had to go out the venue to perform, and then so he's performing on a bank, and that's paying assemblies.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, yeah, it's like you say, do your research, but I do feel like
Whatever room you perform in.
Yeah, of course.
There's issues in our rooms, you know.
Well, you heard that here first.
There's issues in every room you do. You try and perform in here, and you know,
No
it's a
issues here.
lovely space.
A lot of the acts have
It's a
said this is
lovely
their favourite
space.
room.
It'd be their favourite room, but I would really be annoyed with that pink light up there.
Well, then we take the gel out.
We'd find something that
No, you would.
probably the main issue with this room is
promoter.
that right there. Why aren't you going? Quick, before I ask that question, you said you asked me about the future of the Fringe.
Yeah.
I just think there will just be, increasing number of alternative models, independent models, and what have you, and I want to see more independent venues and promoters pop up doing interesting, different things.
That's an interesting. Do you think that now with the free, I mean, there's probably not as much editorial. What's the word? It's not. There's no editorial policy on the free Fringe. Pretty much anyone can do a show.
Yeah.
Do you think that damages the Fringe in any way?
No. I mean, the Fringe was originally an open format. It is I think that is what it is. I wanted to go. Okay, I want to stand slightly separate to that and have a curated bar. But I think having a great wash of stuff going on. Take Cunt and the Gang. He was turned down by every promoter because of his name.
Yeah.
And Alex went, "Oh, I love you." No great foresight in that. I'm not doing Alex down in that. Just he's not put off by the name, and why not? Let's put that on. That sounds. You've got a bit of fun. Great. Let's give you a space, and then he's so a great part of the Fringe.
Yeah, because the Big Four, as what you would call them, would say, well, the reason, and I don't agree with this, but the reason we charge is because it's quality controlled, which definitely the Pleasance. I definitely think, Ryan, I know for that, sees everything.
Well, we do, and PBH talks with it, and Alex puts some, but I think we all have different types of quality control. It's probably the easy. I don't know.
So you don't think it damages,
no, because
a lot, people go and they go, oh, that was awful, even if they didn't spend any money, it's an hour of their time.
I've seen some awful things in paid venues, but usually they're professional, and they're.
Well, it wasn't my show because you didn't come.
No, I couldn't. I clashed with mine. I really wanted to come and see your show, particularly that bit where you got your foot stuck between the inflatable and the stage. Which I was told was the funniest bit, but unfortunately that was an accident.
Yeah, it was, and I could not recreate it. I tried every day, but the one day I knocked the door off the igloo, and that got some laughs, but it didn't come close to getting my foot stuck in the road.
That brings us on to, why are you not going to the Fringe this year?
Well, because I like to do a paid venue because I know
you feel you deserve it. Yeah. What about doing a paid venue and selling tickets?
Are you going to ask?
Is that something you'd like to do?
Do you just want to answer your own question?
Yeah.
All right. Or do you want the real answer?
Go on. Why are you doing the Fringe?
So I like to do a paid venue for the very reason that I can choose the type of space I want. I use projector and lighting, theatrical stuff.
We haven't got those.
Exactly. So
no, we didn't have projectors and lights. Well.
Yeah, but your venue was unavailable apparently. But
you got very upset about that. You were one of only 2 people that got really upset when I said, no, sorry, there's no room for you.
Yeah.
And you were both very upset.
Who was the other person? Remain nameless. I was the most memorable.
She will remain.
So I want to do a paid venue, and I feel in order to do a paid venue, you need to spend money on your marketing, PR, and promotion, and all that stuff in order to compete with acts who are the same level as you on the free Fringe. And I just don't have that money to invest in that this year. But I'm doing Camden Fringe instead, another experiment to see if you even need to do Edinburgh to create some momentum and get some success.
You go and have fun in Camden.
I'm very much looking forward to it. There's 800 other comedy shows up in Edinburgh. It's a competitive market. It is. No, you can make that face, but it is very competitive.
I just think that's funny that you want to go and spend money to try and sell tickets. Don't spend money. You can sell tickets without spending money. We sold so many tickets last year without spending
Yeah,
money. Word of mouth is it's a great.
Oh, definitely. And the thing with the free Fringe is it's easier to get that momentum started because there's no barrier to entry as a new act. You know, there's no barrier to entry. Yep. It's free, so you can go, we'll take a risk on this new act. Whereas if you're a new act in a paid venue, no matter how good your show is, you need to get that initial momentum going. And I think, and if you want to do that in a paid venue, then it's through marketing and PR. I think that's the only way you can do it. Because I just think the bottom line is you can't compete with free.
Isn't that a horrible, ugly way to promote a show, though? Isn't it nice to have people come along? We like this.
Of course, but I'm saying in the current landscape of Edinburgh, it's a lot harder to get them in because of the paid and free, and that's what my issue is.
Why have you chosen, knowing that in the current landscape, you say, yes, I agree, that it's an ugly way of doing things, spending all your money on marketing when you'd like to be spending your time on the show and creating a word of mouth success.
Time, that's why you pay, you're paying someone else to do it. But okay.
And yet you go, I'd like to go that ugly route. Why not go, okay, well, we love this idea of people coming along and discovering it, and I have real faith in my show that when people have seen it, A, they'll want to pay a bit at the end, and B, they'll want to tell people, and then those people might go, well, hey, this is becoming a hot show, let's buy a ticket in advance.
I think it's, like I say, it's
why would you choose a broken system when there's a nicer way of doing things?
Yeah, I think it's getting, the right venue, the right time. I found it hard to, to negotiate with those on the free Fringe. Did you find it hard
to find the right time and venue this year is why you're not going?
No, not at all. I didn't even apply.
Yeah.
So I've got a great time at the Pleasance, but I did my maths and I thought, you know what?
It's going to cost me so much money to perform to 3 people a day that maybe I'm better off. My mum. It'd be easier for your mum to come along to Camden, wouldn't it? That'll be it. That will be.
Has your mum ever reviewed your show?
Yeah, she has.
I mean,
she came.
Oh, don't tell me you've got your.
My mum.
I bet you don't do that when your mum's in the audience.
My mum came to my show one time.
Yeah.
To a show I did in Clibbury Mortimer,
right
near where I grew up, and she came along, and I said to her, "Look, there's my parents over there." I had quite a lot to drink, and I might have asked the audience, "Hands up, who wants to fuck my mum?" And yeah, probably shouldn't have said that. But the sweet thing was, my dad put his hand up.
Oh.
That was a lovely thing, I thought. So it's quite a nice story we discuss at Christmas.
Yeah.
When the family gets together.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I wish I could have been there for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go.
Interesting. Phil Kerr probably did get his penis out that night.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did. I think we climbed we both ended up on top of the marquee.
Nice. So so that's it really. That's my why I'm not doing Edinburgh this year, and why
aren't you going to create your own Harry Dean's Way Fringe?
Yeah, well, that's actually an interesting question.
Yeah.
Why? So what's more important for you, your venue at the Fringe or your career as an act, or is it?
I think they're very much. I like them hand in hand. Running a venue for me feels like 24/7. Doing something, I pop up in a couple of other shows. I do my late night show, which is a big discussion of what's gone on at the Fringe, and it's very much about running a venue and all the events that have gone on in the venue. It's brilliant. That's brilliant for me. I love it. And that grew through word of mouth because it just was something different. We sit everybody in the round, and just chaotic happenings occur, and that goes hand in hand with running everything. It sort of works together. Then we took it to Leicester Comedy Festival as well and did the pop-up venue, and it sort of in a very different type of space. It all worked there as well. We'll check out Glasgow and Brighton, and we'll maybe do venues there. And we're looking at something in London, and I'd worked behind a bar once before when I was at university, and I worked for one night and they sacked me because I drank 11 pints of Kronenberg and mopped up with myself.
Do you think you've got an alcohol problem?
No, I found an alcohol solution. Run a bar and then you've got access to loads of it.
Yeah, but personally, do people worry about you at all?
I drink because I get bored or this, and I'm not bored running the venue. I probably drank less at this.
Yeah.
I know I drank less at this Fringe than any others. I don't know if I get bored or if it's just,
But you're not worried about it?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't had a drink since 3-4 hours now.
Yeah, I mean, actually, just interesting. You would only start this podcast at 3 o'clock because you don't get up till what time? 1, 2?
I don't get up very early. That's not really to do with drinking. I'm nocturnal.
Fair enough. Oh, interesting. All right, so
I'm glad that we've ended on that cutting. The really getting in there. What time do you get up? And what do you have for breakfast, Bob? And what's your favourite colour?
No. Well, I'm just interested in the alcohol.
Do you like UKIP?
Do I like? No.
No.
I do not like UKIP at all. So basically,
I know that we've got a signal over there going, keep off UKIP. The camera's overheating.
So just keep it rolling. We've wrapped up now.
Have we?
No, don't stop. Yeah, I think that's it.
Rolling. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in.
Mate. Yeah.
Good luck with the Camden Fringe. I hope everything goes very well. Good luck with Shambles getting on BBC Three.
Raybot.